Is that a caftan you're wearing right now?
It is a caftan.
How did I know that? I mean, I just know my fashion.
You do.
Just kidding. For those of you who don't know, Margaret actually told me what that was. In the interest of full disclosure, I didn't actually know what a caftan was before. I thought that was when a baby cow stood in the sun for too long.
It's Celebrity Sleepover. Now, here's your host, Johnny Bananas.
Welcome to Celebrity Sleepover, where wearing my girlfriend's pajamas is not only acceptable, but preferred. Because they're soft and supple on my skin. Speaking of making a statement, my first guest is an assassin on stage and the host of the Margaret Cho podcast. Please welcome the fabulous Margaret Cho. Margaret Cho, I would like to welcome you to my well-decorated man cave.
I love it. Thank you.
And where are you coming to us from today?
I'm in my house in Los Angeles.
And who is this fabulous little guest you decided to bring on with you?
This is Lucia Caterina. She is 5-pound Chihuahua Dalmatian, so she's a very long Chihuahua.
It's going to be difficult, though, if she misbehaves. I mean, that's a lot to spit out at once. You have like a short, you just call her Luchi?
When she's bad, she gets her Korean name, which is Chorucha.
Cholucha.
Chorucha. That's her Korean name. She gets scared.
Yeah. Margaret, you're a stand-up comedian. You have a prolific stand-up career, but you've recently made the shift over to the podcasting world. How's that been?
It's interesting, and it's great because it's something that we can do during this time. I've always befriended people that I know are going to be huge celebrities. A good example of that would be Awkwafina. Like, I sort of knew about her when she was kind of coming up, and I was like, oh, I wanted to work with her and do stuff. And then also Jonathan Van Ness is another example of somebody that I knew well before all of his fame.
You're like a muse or almost like a talent scout, and you're almost using your podcast as a platform to introduce them to the rest of the world.
Yes, I think that's exactly a good way to put it, and I really enjoy that.
I have a friend who's even more Asian. Her name is... How do you spell that? It's just like it sounds.
For you, comedy, do you consider it something that you find joy in, that comes naturally to you, or do you kind of consider comedy a job?
It's both. It can be a job, for sure. Some of the constraints of it are very felt right now during the pandemic because we can't go on tour. And it is an addiction because you get this incredible dopamine, endorphin rush when you're performing that can't be replicated anywhere. And so it is a challenge, you know, especially for some of us who suffer from depression, who sort of like really kind of self-medicate through performance. That's really challenging. That's a lot of comedians too.
Comedy, though, in my opinion, it seems like comedy used to always be a safe space. You could make fun of anything, anyone, at any time, and it was okay.
Yes, it's hard because part of being a comedian is to be offensive. And with cancel culture being in such full effect, especially now, I think what it does is that it limits what we're able to do, but at the same time, it just makes you be a better comedian. You just have to be more skillful in the way you phrase things, and it's really about the intention behind the joke, which I think is really good for the art form. Maybe not necessarily good for some different individuals who are experiencing that kind of quote-unquote cancellation.
I mean, if anything, the way we should look at it is it's a positive because we have evolved.
Exactly.
I've been able to watch myself grow up on television. I've been able to make my mistakes and learn and grow from them, and I think that's what's important. That's what should be taken away from it.
Yes, exactly. But I think that people mostly are really forgiving of things, you know, and once somebody apologizes for things they've done and said, it goes away like pretty quickly, I think. So I think we're a pretty forgiving society, even though it doesn't seem like that at times.
How has social media changed your life, both privately and publicly?
Well, it just makes you very involved with whatever's happening. And I love that we have this connection with everybody, that you can connect with everybody on social media at the same time. And I think that's really powerful.
Isn't it also a double-edged sword, though? Because you're also opening yourself up to this whole world of negativity.
Yes, it can be very damaging and destructive. And then so like you want to be able to have a sort of a buffer in there. I love to block, and I also love to know that it's really my choice on whether to engage or not.
So you're a blocker, I'm a muter. Because I don't like giving haters the satisfaction of knowing that I saw and reacted to what they said and they got to me. So I just mute them, and then they can tweet at me forever, and they think that I'm not seeing it. So
I love it. That's whatever works. So your like sanity isn't affected. That's all it's about.
Margaret, I'm gonna need you to stick around. But when we come back, I've got a very special surprise for you because I'm putting a new twist on an old sleepover tradition, and you're not gonna want to miss this one.
All right.
Hey guys, thanks for watching the video. For more, subscribe to First Look and come with me on all my adventures around the world. Who am I kidding? I'm probably sitting at home watching Netflix or playing Xbox. Either way, what are you waiting for? Just hit subscribe already.